So this is the Omega Rogue. It is a longbow built by Keegan McCaig of Omega Longbows. And I have had this bow for about almost a year now. And I would like to review it because this bow has been great to me. And I think this is a great bow for someone who's just getting into traditional archery or a great outdoorsman as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the key features of this bow and do a little review on it and then talk about my experiences with it over the past year with this bow as well. So I purchased this bow last summer. I believe it was either June or July of 2024, which means I've had this bow for right about 9 months. And it's been really great to me. I custom ordered this one from Keegan. This bow is 45 pounds at my 25-inch draw length. It's 64 inches long and has a 61-inch string with a 31-inch max draw length. And I really enjoy it. It's been very good to me. When I ordered this bow, I wanted something that was going to be good for deer, elk. And I also wanted something that was going to camouflage in pretty well, whether I was in a tree stand or whether I was stalking animals. So I decided to go with this camo pattern. It's got a beautiful camo green color, and you put black fiberglass on the outside, as well as, I believe it's maple, or maybe, I don't specifically remember what type of wood, but some kind of hardwood on that outer layer. So like I said, this bow was made from Omega Longbows. Keegan is a great guy. I believe he's out in North Carolina. I apologize to Keegan if I messed that up. This bow is super affordable. When I bought it and custom ordered it, it was right around $595. I think with tax it was just over $600. And when I bought it, he was pretty backed up, so I think I placed the order in April actually. And so once that order, it waited a couple months for him to make it, but once he had made it, it was shipped out here pretty quick. So the total wait time was a couple months, but that was just because he was backed up with so many orders. But really, pretty good with getting it. So I want to go over my experience with this bow. I used it a lot over the past hunting season, and like I said, I got it, in the summer. So I started shooting it in the summer a lot. Got really comfortable with it. Shot tons of arrows out of it, and I really liked the way it was smooth. Felt like this bow I was just naturally accurate with, and it had a super smooth draw and still does, and so I was really happy with it going into the season. So I kicked off the 2024 hunting season with a CWD management hunt up north of me, and I hunted for 3 days up there for whitetails. Never got to fling an arrow at a deer on that hunt, but this bow did great for me. It was awesome being up in those tree stands and chasing those whitetails. And then fast forward a couple days, my brother and I went on a 7-day backcountry mule deer hunt, and this was the bow that I took, and so this did amazing. We had a great hunt, although I never got to, like I said, fling an arrow to deer. I did shoot a grouse on that trip, which was perfect. Nailed it, I believe, at 10 yards. And so I think that was a great tester trip for this bow because, being out there for 7 days, having that bow for that whole time up there in the backcountry, really got to, I got to really get a better understanding for the bow, how I was going to use it in the future, and as well, I just did really great in those conditions, from being outside all day, and then, when we were camping up there, leaving it out just outside the tent, it did great. Luckily, we didn't get any major rain on that trip, so we never really got to test it that early in the season. And I did unstring the bow in the evenings. So then I got back from that trip and I hunted whitetails all throughout September, all throughout October, and even into November. And this bow did amazing throughout all those hunts. I had some really memorable hunts with it, and it was really great to test it in some different conditions. We had some rainy days in October, and then some really cold days with snow, and it shot great, through all those conditions. I was a little concerned with, just having not used it in cold conditions before. I was unsure of how it would perform in the cold, but, it seemed to do pretty good. And then in December, my last major hunt of the year, I took this bow on a couple days trip up north of me again for mule deer again. This was a little lower, but we had a couple feet of snow on the ground and it was really cold, in the teens. And this bow did great. Again, I never got to fling an arrow during that hunt. I did blew some arrows at a couple deer, earlier in the season, but not on that hunt. And so it was still great. I was putting socks on bucks with this bow, and it was really fun to be up there and have a bow like this, on that trip. So there's a couple things that I want to highlight for this bow. I already went over my experiences with it and kind of the details of it, but I think this bow specifically is a great hunting bow for for somebody like me who I've been traditional boating for 4 years for big game. I didn't want to break the bank going into getting a new weapon, but I wanted something that I could use for whitetail deer, mule deer, and even possibly elk in future years. And so I did a lot of research. I was watching videos on YouTube. The Stick Boys, they were doing great reviews on this specific bow. And so between talking to Keegan via email and watching some videos like that and just reading reviews and stuff like that, I made my mind up. And really affordable bow, you know, for around $600 for this quality of a bow. I felt like that, you know, that was very fairly priced, but also, you know, it was a good entry-level bow. Certainly it wasn't and isn't the most, you know, highest costing, prettiest bow out there, but, you know, for somebody that wants to just get out there, be able to have some success with traditional archery, this is a super great bow. Like I said, I did custom order this, so I believe he does custom orders or non-custom orders. Again, Keegan, I apologize if I messed that up, but I custom ordered this one, and so I just sent him via email all the measurements for my draw length and the weight I wanted and what pattern, and he got it pretty quick, which was awesome. When the bow came, it did not have string silencers, so I put these string silencers on here. I may make a future video on how to do that. Super simple. Pretty much I just cut large paracord out, took the inside of it out, and then pretty much just looped that through the string with some string tie on both sides, and those have stayed on there great. As well, it did not come with a bow quiver, obviously. I used, I think it was an Eagle's Flight bow quiver over the year, and that did great. And if you saw in the last video, I actually did some small game hunting with it, and I had a string tracker on there as well. And both those, you know, attachments onto the bow were great. So that is my review of the Omega Longbow. Huge thanks to Keegan. He did an amazing job. You know, I'm super happy with how it turned out and the job he did, and I know that everybody that I know that's ever shot his bows feels the same about it. I do want to go shoot this bow real quick. We're going to just take some different shots, and I'd love to show you all, you know, for those who haven't seen the videos in the past, how this bow shoots and the accuracy. You know, I feel very confident with this bow out to, you know, 20 yards, and I'm sure, you know, with more time, you know, somewhere, you know, towards 25 would be doable as well. So that we're going to head out to the target, and we'll shoot some arrows. All right, so we are out here in the backyard. Got a couple arrows, and we're going to just shoot a couple times. I'm set up at about 15 yards here. May move back to about 20 in a little bit here, but we're going to just take some shots first off. We'll do some angles at me, and then we'll show some targets as well. But we're going to go for it. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you found this review helpful. If you'd like to stay updated on my hunts and other types of content like this, make sure to subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.